Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, on another episode at the Cusp of Freedom, where we discuss why and how we become who we are. I'm your host for this podcast, Marvin TQ, and today I have a very special friend. I'll let him introduce himself and tell you who he is and what he does for a living.
Hello, I'm Gerardo. I'm from Mexico, and I'm a digital nomad. For live, I do many stuffs. Right now, I work for a little company in my place as a legal assessor, fiscal legal assessor, and also I work for two real estate companies over USA. That the business are I already say real estate, right?
Real estate, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a virtual assistant, so right now I help to do like administrative things, and that's all.
Interesting. So, as you've heard from Gerardo himself, we'll be discussing how he became a fiscal legal tender and also how he became a digital nomad by assisting or doing it like having a manager role, assisting real estate firms within the United States. So without further ado, we'll just jump straight into it. When you were younger, you said you grew up in Mexico?
Yeah, I have been living all my life in Mexico.
What part of Mexico are you from?
I'm of the south of Mexico. The name is Oaxaca de Juarez. It's a little town over the south. It's the capital of Oaxaca. That is the state.
How are like the schools there? Like, is college like, I guess like normal?
I think Mexico have been has a really low level of school, like learning of teaching of level, and it's kind of difficult to grow up with a really low level schools in the elementary school, at the primary school. I realized that was happening when I entered to a private school. Unfortunately, my parents was able to pay a private school in that time, and I realized that the public schools in Mexico are really bad, and they don't teach you. They don't teach you like all the stuff that you need to know to succeed. Obviously,
They don't set you up wrong. So when you were a kid, what did you dream of becoming? Like, what was your dream?
That's kind of funny because right now I'm a lawyer, and that's why I always wanted to do. But when as you said, when I was a kid, right? But right now I don't feel happy to be a lawyer. That was an old dream, and I'm doing something that brings me the happiness. But right now that I'm a lawyer, I always dream about it. It doesn't mean that
You're happy.
yeah.
So you've always dreamed of becoming a lawyer, but now that you're not happy. You realize that you're not happy.
No, I realized that when I after almost 2 years, 1 year and a half of working in a really good company over Oaxaca, my city. That was the fiscal area. I love it to do that work, that job, but well, that's what I doesn't want for my life. One of my other dreams that I always have is to travel all around the world. You know, man.
So I guess your dream of becoming a lawyer was not in alignment with your dream of wanting to travel the world.
No. When I was working over at that job, I don't have time in my life to do that. I was earning money, but that's not all in life. Is all the people over my town, all the family, also friends told me that. But you have a job, right? You are earning money, but it was like, man, but I don't do it. The stuff that bring me life. So one day I was searching at TikTok. I think TikTok is can be addict, but also can be used as a tool. And then one day a TikTok was about virtual assistants job. So I was thinking about how the possible of being a virtual assistant can bring me the life that I want. And I start searching, I start learning also a lot of tools, how to become like a project management, other courses like Google Analytics, so a lot of tools that brings you like the possible.
The skills that you need.
Yeah, the skills to travel at the same time that you are earning money, and that's really cool. It's a really interesting job because I think the future is going to the digital stuff.
Yeah,
That's all. And right now I am on the way. I don't have too much time being a virtual assistant, but it's really cool. I love it, and I know about other businesses that can help me to achieve my dreams also. You know.
That sounds amazing, bro. So when you were growing up, how did you become a lawyer? Did you go to college to become a lawyer, or?
Yeah, I went to a little university that calls La Salle. I think it's in much countries over the world.
Yeah.
But it was really good school, I think so.
Was it hard? Like, what were the challenges of you trying to become a lawyer in college?
We as a lawyer, I think that a lot of study. You have to learn a lot, read a lot, always in the book, and that's not bad, no. I think I like to read, but one thing bad, really bad, that I think about the lawyers over in Mexico. You know, when I started to become a lawyer, and I was really inspired to be a lawyer, like. I will achieve my dreams. I will get what I want. I will bring to the jail to the bad people. You know, that's not the reality of Mexico, because when you go to the experience where the job is, a lot of corruption, a lot of bad deals. You know.
So you're not really fulfilling what you went in there for.
Yeah, I was thinking like a kind of justice, you know, like help other people, help to the people who need.
Yeah, but that's not the reality.
Yeah, no, man. You know, something I released that the people that can pay to a lawyer over in Mexico is the only people that have money or have like political power, you know.
So corruption benefits those that have money.
And the reality was not
Your dream.
my dream. That was what broke me over the middle of my career.
I'm sorry for that.
When I released that, I was not inspired, but was happening like yeah. But after that 3 years of study law, I decided to, well, I'm on the way. I need to finish my career. I done, and now, well, I'm using as a tool. Like, only no was a waste of time, you know.
Yeah.
But
It was an investment, yeah.
but you know, there's too many ways that you can get on the path that you really want.
Do you think that there's always a possibility to get on the path that you wish to get on, as long as you realize that you're in the wrong path?
Can you repeat the question?
Do you think there's always a possibility to get on the path that's best for you, as long as you realize that the path that you're on is not best for you?
Well, sometimes it's difficult, you know, because too many people are lost in the mind is in other stuff like I think so, like parties or kind of
Not focused?
drugs. Yeah, not focus. Or yeah, kind of only funny stuff. So.
Yeah.
And that's not bad. I think so. All the people have their own style to live.
You think it
But-
would make it a lot harder for you if they had
But the truth is that you realize that when you know that it brings you happy, no?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when you realize that the money don't brings happy,
it doesn't, yeah.
will every job will not be
Fulfilling.
in your feelings, because if you work only for money,
It's not gonna be fulfilling, yeah.
I think that something that helped me to get in my path, I think, is the meditation.
Okay.
It's really good way to know yourself and what do you want, and to be present in
the moment.
In the moment.
So let's talk a little bit about meditation. How long have you been meditating for? Like, when did you start meditating?
Oh, that's really cool. Well, now is my own style of live. I meditate all day at the mornings. But I have been doing meditation like 1 year ago, more or less. I'm not too many times in that style of life, but it's really helpful to yourself, to know your own self. What do you want? What do you like?
How do you feel?
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's kind of strange because when you start meditations and you find like a kind of different possibles to get on that path
Yeah.
that you are, and you know that there's not only
One
one way to
Getting where you want.
to look forward, you know.
Interesting. That's very interesting. That's an interesting perspective.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So
Do you meditate?
I guess I don't as much as I should. I meditate in my shower. If that counts.
Yeah.
But I do think meditation is peaceful. I mean, it's like that one moment where you have no distraction and you're just like to yourself.
Yeah.
And it definitely helps me, like, just think about like, our objectives and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, when you on your path to becoming like a manager for these real estate companies in the U.S., you said you found them through TikTok.
The company, no. I only found about remote jobs, that what is a virtual assistant. So I started searching only like LinkedIn, in the Oaxaca, in too many places to find a company that will bring me the knowledge, like to do some stuff that I want.
Yeah.
Was kind of funny because the companies was like in the perfect moment that they hired me.
Oh, I see. So everything just like aligned.
Yeah, at the perfect time that I was like in the point of my life that I was happy. More happiness was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does your day-to-day job look like as a fiscal tender lawyer? And what does your day-to-day job look like as a virtual assistant for this real
Like,
estate?
you mean like the difference?
Yeah, like on your day-to-day, what do you do as a legal tender or a fiscal tender, and what do you do on your day-to-day as a virtual assistant for this real estate firm?
When I was administrative at that fiscal firm, I do the fiscal tax devolutions, kind of fiscal procedures, like bringing the companies, like the business, to the way that do the right thing, paying the right taxes.
Yeah.
Sometimes really vicious, huge, and how do you say, I forgot the name in English. Vicious, demandas. Demands, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes, and all the stuff is only writing,
Yeah.
answering to the authority, reading more informs, reports.
Nice.
Yeah.
And for your day-to-day job as a virtual assistant, what do you?
I think that the most important that I do is contact leaks, contact leaks,
Contact leads.
yeah, contact leaks, and administrative stuff like market value of the of some places of United States, searching for comps of the properties. Um, well, I also did something that was wholesaling. That's
Okay.
really cool. That
Wholesaling.
yeah, wholesaling. Land selling also.
Okay.
Also, no, I don't know, search for properties like Zillow, Redfin,
Okay.
Language,
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
using all other tools like Google Air Pro, Data Tree, a lot of stuff, well, websites that you can use for helping you to buy and sell lands or homes.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So, what are the most challenging parts of your job?
Mm.
Or is it like all easy? I guess?
No, man. I think the more challenging part of to being a virtual assistant or have a remote job is focus. You know, sometimes you don't have a person that is on you that
Yeah.
you have to do this. Where's my
Yeah.
my work? You know. So sometimes the more difficult part for me, I don't know other people, but is to learn how to focus, like doing the job. You know, 1 hour you have 1 hour to bring this work, and you have to do it.
Yeah. So
Responsibilities, you know.
Yeah, just be
Yeah.
responsible. So, as a digital nomad, how long have you been traveling for? And how many countries have you been to?
Well, I don't have too many time with becoming a digital nomad, but at the moment I have been the 3 months over here in Colombia. I have been traveling all around Colombia, like Cartagena, Bogotá, Barranquilla, Santa Marta, San Andres, a lot of different places over here.
Yeah. What do you do?
But my next step is to go to Brazil, that
Yeah.
I go today, right? And I go down all the places.
Argentina, maybe?
Yeah, looking like, you know, man, I don't have plans. I don't have plans. I don't really have plans for this trip. So I just let it go, like
You think
with the wind.
The flow. You think it's like the most spontaneous trip you had?
Yeah, yeah. I like to be present, you know. I don't like to think about the future.
That's true. That's true. Very good.
Well, at the first, after Colombia, I was thinking to go to Peru.
Yeah.
There are a little huge political
Stuff going on.
stuffs over there, so I decided to take a moment over here and then go to another place, changing all the game.
Interesting. So, as like an advice that you would, okay. So, what's the most challenging part of traveling solo for you in particular, and what is an advice or a philosophy that you travel by?
Okay. You know, I think you have to focus on the financial way, like the money you spend in every single place that you go, like this money goes, how do you say, administrative budget, yeah, you have to have a budget. That's all. I think it's the most important part to travel all that places, because I don't know, some people earn much money, or other people earn less money, but
That the concept helps
Yeah.
either way.
yeah, you have to focus on what's the essential of the trip, you know.
Yeah.
The most important, like food, sometimes, I don't know, clothes, or a
Basically-
place to live. You have to budget all your money that you have, you know.
So basically, focus your budget on your basic necessities.
Yeah.
So what is like a philosophy you travel with? I don't know.
Well, don't be afraid of the unknown.
The unknown, okay.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
That's a good one. That's really good.
Yeah, I think so that when I was a child, I was afraid of too many things, you know. Also, when I was a teenager, I was afraid to sometimes socialize and that stuff. But in the when you pass that wall and you realize that it's not too bad, you know, you start to be more brave, you know. So yeah, I think that my philosophy of continue traveling is like, don't be afraid of the unknown, be brave only.
Good stuff, good stuff. I like
Yeah,
it, I like it.
yeah, it's really beautiful. You in the way of traveling around, see too many places, you find too many wonderful things in the world.
Yeah.
And I love that. Simply love that.
Is that what you love the most about traveling? Just like experiencing different things around the world?
Yes, know people, know different experience, different knowledge about the people, interesting skills of other people, interesting places. Well, I think the possibilities are a lot.
And just growth.
Yeah,
So
really amazing.
I guess I don't want to take too much of the people's time, but is there any like last keyword or advice you would want to leave someone that is hoping to go through your path to be like your better, that they can take with them and implement in their lives? Like any last keyword of advice
Advice? Well,
or philosophy or quote?
how to think about it. Well, advice is only focus on you. You are your main tool that you have, your own self, and only focus. You will start to some point and will finish to another. But if you don't do, you don't have the chance to know the possibilities that you have to all. Just focus on you. That's all.
Well, thank you so much, Gerardo, for being part of this podcast and for having this conversation.
Thank you for all the stuff.
No worries. Yeah, that was a good episode.